How do we find x and y-intercept when we're given a quadratic equation in standard form? Well, let's try y equals x squared minus 6x minus 16. So standard form makes it easy to find the y-intercept. Let's start there. So remember, the y-intercept is where our graph crosses the y-axis, which is the line x equals 0. Okay, so we're looking at x equals 0, and our quadratic equation tells us y equals x squared minus 6x minus 16. So we're taking these two facts together. And so we can substitute in this x equals 0 to our quadratic and simplify, and that'll give us the y value we're looking for. So y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0 minus 16. Well, this is easy because 0 squared is just 0. 6 times 0 is 0. And we got minus 16, so y equals negative 16. And by no coincidence whatsoever, this minus 16 is the same as this constant term up here. This c coefficient, the constant coefficient in our quadratic. So we didn't even need to go through this whole process. If you have a quadratic in standard form, the y-intercept is just the constant term. In this example, it's the minus 16. All right, that's the y-intercept. The x-intercepts in standard form, these require a little bit more work. We're actually gonna have to factor this to find where it crosses the x-axis. So remember, we're looking for where the height is 0, where y equals 0, because the x-axis is the line y equals 0. So we're solving this equation for x. 0 equals x squared minus 6x minus 16. And to do it, we're going to have to factor. So we factor x squared minus 6x minus 16. So this will help us to solve that equation. And so remember, well, so what are our coefficients here? We're comparing this with ax squared plus bx plus c. So that makes a equal to 1. There's an invisible 1 in front of the x squared. That's the only thing that could line up with this a. Then b is going to be that minus 6 in the linear term, and c is negative 16. Now what we have to do is, so we can use our little diagram here to keep track of everything. We have minus 16 is c, negative 6 is b. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 16 and add up to negative 6. So let's start by factoring negative 16. Negative 16 is 2 times 8, so we could do, let's try negative 8 times 2. That multiplies to negative 16, and negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. So negative 8 and 2, they work out. They multiply to negative 16, and they add up to negative 6. All right. If we had chosen a different factorization and it didn't work out, we would have had to keep working until we found two numbers that fit both criteria. But we got it on the first try here. All right. So this tells us that our factorization is this. We have x minus 8 times x plus 2, because those are the two coefficients we just found in that factoring process. Okay, x minus 8 times x plus 2. If you FOIL that out, you're going to get x squared minus 6x plus, or minus 16. And now that we've factored it, this tells us where the x-intercepts are going to be. The way that works is, so remember we were over here, we said we had to solve this equation, right? 0 equals x squared minus 6x minus 16. So we're really solving 0 equals x minus 8 times x plus 2. And the zero product property 0 equals x minus 8, or 0 equals x plus 2, x equals 8, or x equals minus 2. So 8 and negative 2, those are our x-intercepts. And that's it. So to find the x-intercept, we had to factor and then use a zero product property. To find the y-intercept, we could just read it off from the standard form. It's the last, or the constant coefficient, the c value.